myself, Advocate Abhishek Saxena, one of the moderators in this webinar, would like to welcome all of the participants and attendees. First of all, I would like to give huge thanks to Gujarat National Law University, Department of Alumni Relations. This webinar is a collaborative event of Gujarat National Law University and Praco Learn. With this note, I would like to thank Mr. Saurabh Anand, with whose efforts this webinar is possible. I would like to thank the complete Department of Alumni Relations, our worthy Registrar Sir, Director Sir, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to present our views on the topic Legal Studies in United States of America and Immigration Challenges. First of all, I would like to start with the introduction of the speakers. We have two speakers who is going to present this on this webinar. Mr. Abhinav Saxena. He is an alumnus of Gujarat National Law University, 2004-9 BSc LLB Honors Batch. He is a co-founding partner of Saxena's and Kumar Law Chambers and a co-founder of Praco Learn. As an advocate, he has achieved a wide range of experience and years of litigation experience for almost 11 years. We have another speaker, Mr. Pankaj Goyal. He did his law from Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Patiala. Right after bachelor's, he joined the legal practice as an advocate in Punjab. In Punjab and Haryana, 2 years. But later on, in 2013, he decided to pursue LLM from abroad. So in 2014, completed Master's of Law from the University of Texas. Since then, he has been working with an immigration law firm in Houston, Texas. Myself, Abhishek Saxena, and Mr. Navneet Kumar are co-founding partners of Saxena's and Kumar Law Chambers and co-founders of Praco Learn as well. We have been in practice for almost 9 years in various fields of law. Now, before I start with the webinar, I would like to give a brief introduction about what is Praco Learn. It is important to understand the organizer as well. It is an initiative of the co-founders who realized that there is a deficiency in practical learning of law during the law studies. So we came up with an idea of practical learning, that is Praco Learn, that has a motto to holistically cover all the practical aspects which are quite necessary in practical world and in the professional world as well. It imparts and focuses on practical learning of subjects and thus acts as a bridge. It acts as a bridge and fills the gap between knowledge of both theory and practical aspects through its various courses and classes. I would like to request all the participants to keep their microphone on mute mode throughout the session. However, you may drop your queries and questions in the drop box or the chat box, and that will be taken up by us after the speakers complete their presentations. After Q&A session, there will be concluding remarks and some very important announcements related to the various other upcoming webinars and some courses that will be beneficial for all the students. And with this, I would like to request our worthy speaker, Mr. Abhinav Saxena, to come up with the introduction of the topic and please give us why is it so important to take up. Mr. Saxena, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Abhishek. So, this topic we have taken, the legal studies in USA and immigration challenges. We all are aware that a century ago, we had ships as modes of traveling across the continent that take almost half a year to reach USA. But with the developments over the period of time, the traveling becomes swift, less time consuming and short. So technology changes and collective efforts made possible comfortable and much easier life. We have lots of examples which will be an evident that the sharing of knowledge always provides positive impact on society and its impact on masses who can get benefit from the dissemination of the information. The present topic for the webinar also contains important information related to those people who wants to move to the USA for their dreams. I must say, the dreams may be subjective to the person, but the struggle for achieving their dreams may be quite similar to each other. In this webinar, we are focusing on to get their first-hand information on particular struggles by the individual and also get some solution and insight about their journey, and hoping that the information which we gather through this insight will help you all when you get the chance to live your dream over there. To study from USA is more like a dream rather than a requirement. In earlier days, we have seen people having doctor's dream, lawyer's dreams, etc. related to a particular domestic profession. But in past couple of decades, this perception changes to USA dream, UK dream, etc. That is to go abroad and become most eligible professional and become a motivating personality for the earth. I can cite the example of Baba Saheb Ambedkar here, who went on to study at Columbia University, America, by facing many hurdles and difficulties, but he passed with flying colors and is one of the stalwart of Indian legal system. If we talk about our own experience as immigration attorneys in India, we have also faced certain types of questions while addressing our clients. We realized that a lot of queries were related to immigration of students, as there is a lot of confusion in market, and some of the very basic queries in bulk also popped up, like accommodation, expenses, part-time jobs, immigration, and admission challenges. Anxiety, eagerness for clarity of aspirants and parents are obvious, as it costs a huge amount for them. So, we decided to create this webinar and address the process and challenges pertaining to this topic, and further come up with a solution for the benefit of all. We need to understand that it is the dream of most of the middle and average class family students. But without proper knowledge and guidance, they end up spending unwanted costs and huge amount of money. It is also important to address those students who were ready to move with all the documents, but due to pandemic, they are stuck. And the same applies to those Indian students who are stuck in USA. So, we will be dealing even with the topic of COVID-19 situation in America, and I will be giving this to Mr. Navneet. Mr. Navneet will handle the next part. So, Mr.
As you all know that we have chosen this topic for the particular reason. To aware that the reason is that we should aware about the pros and cons and the problems facing after landing there for the education. For that part, first of all, we need to understand why US. There are lots of countries in this world. In Western, if we talk about Western countries, there are lots of countries where we can go and read, where we can go and get the knowledge and information. Why US? Actually, if we talk about entire Western countries, the US is slightly different to entire other Western world. Why I'm saying that? There's two reasons. First, we know that US is a immigrant country. The total population of US, maximum number of population covered immigrant from different places. So the culture is quite rich and self-developed. Apart from that, the education system of US is quite different to Eastern Europe, apart from other Western countries, because their approach to the education is quietly depend upon the practical aspect of learning. There actually, once student get admission in the college or a university in US, basically they provide you the nuances to explore your brain, to explore your knowledge. That's why the education system of US is completely on the practical side. They have very encouraging and established own legal system where student can explore why they are reading and what are the solutions. The teachers or professors came, they provide the technical aspect of the topic, they raise their questions, and I hope I'm clear about the topic. And Mr. Pankaj.
Yes. So thank you, Navneet. And I would like to thank Gujarat National Law University and Saxena Kumar Chambers. In this session, we're gonna briefly discuss that what's your goal, why you are going, why you're planning to study in United States. You need to, in order to do that, you need to shortlist the universities and the courses which you want to take. You need to gather the necessary documents for admission, and you need to file the application with the LSAT. You need to file application with the universities. Once your application is approved by the university, then you have to go through the immigration process. That's the main topics we're going to cover today, and the employment part after you graduated from the university, and the immigration issues during the whole process. When you are in India, when you will be in US, and the after the completion of your degree. So this is pre-admission phase, where so you need to, in this, this is your current situation once you complete your degree in India. So you need to decide what's your goal, what you are planning to do, whether you want to come back to India once you complete your degree, or you want to settle there in United States after completing the degree. For that, you need to shortlist your universities. You need to look for courses, which course you are looking for. Is there any specific course? Accordingly, you need to shortlist your universities. While you are shortlisting your universities, you need to also see which course you are applying for. There are 3 sessions, like normally for international students. Fall session is the main session when most of the universities allow students to enroll themselves. So one university, let's say University of Houston, doesn't accept international students for a summer session. They only start international programs only for fall, which means it will start in August of every year. So you need to shortlist the universities accordingly. Let's say if you are graduating in June, so yes, then August session will work, but summer session will not work for that applicant. So you need to see that you start gathering documents because every university is different. So let's say if a session is starting in August, it means the deadline to apply for the admission should be somewhere in March or April, because they need at least 2 months of time in order to approve your application. And then you need another over 1 month to secure a visa and fly to US. So in order to do that, you need to plan everything ahead of time. You cannot plan only 11th hour. So the documents are very critical. They play an important role in while you're applying. Means you will need a whole bunch of documents in order to apply to the university first, and then same or some more documents you will need in order to secure a visa. And so everyone gonna take some time. So it's always recommended. When I applied my for a master's, I started a year ahead. So I gathered my transcripts and letter of recommendations, statement of purpose, and other documents, financial documents. If you need to arrange finances, then at least you know that, okay, by this time I need this much, these many finances. So you can start gathering documentation accordingly. But if you're gonna start doing something in March and you know that the deadline is April, it will be difficult for you to make it by that time. So the documents which you will need for admission into the university, every university have different requirements, but most of the universities application form is necessary in each and every university. They want you to send the application by certain deadline date. Now sometime, not every university now, some university ask for transcripts from your previous degree. Let's say you completed your bachelor's from Gujarat National Law University, so they will ask for transcripts from that university. Now they will ask transcripts for two reasons. One, they will have in their record. Second, they will ask you to send that transcript in a sealed envelope to LSAC. We're going to discuss that in next slides. So they will evaluate your foreign degree to US standards, whether that is equivalent to the bachelor degree in US or not. Then only they will approve your admission. Letter of recommendation, they normally ask for 3 letters if they are asking, but it varies from university to university. Statement of purpose is also varies from university to university. Resume to English proficiency test. Now, some universities ask for IELTS exam, some ask for TOEFL, but some university waive this requirement. You need to go through that. We'll discuss like my experience, how I waived my exam requirement. After this slide, we will discuss that part. Some university waive this requirement of English test if your degree is first law degree is in English. Then you don't have to take this English test. Passport, yes, is must, because in order to secure a visa, you will need an I-20. I-20 is a form issued by the US Department of Homeland Security with the university so that you can secure a visa when you go for an interview. You will need that original document. Now, because of COVID, they might waive that off, but original required, but otherwise it's must. ID card, Aadhaar card is not for every university, but there may be a requirement, like varies from university to university. Same with passport size photos, financial documents. One of the main document you will need for your embassy interview and for the I-20. So by filing an application with the university, what you are looking for is an admission and an I-20. Until you have an I-20, you cannot go for a visa interview. I-20 is main document for you to appear for an interview. So financial documents is like you need to prove that okay, the course is for $50,000. LLM is like 1 year course here. You can complete in 9 months, you can complete in 1 year, or like if you want to take some extra time, you can take extra time, but the minimum 9 months is minimum. I took 9 months to complete my course. So now in order to prove that you have ability to pay the tuition fees and the living expenses while you're in the United States, university doesn't want you will be a burden, or you leave the course in between and then leave to your home country back in between the course. So before they admit you into the school, they will make sure that you have an ability to pay their tuition fees and to take care of your living expenses and everything. So if you don't have your financial ability, you can use someone else's financial documents who is willing to sponsor you for that purpose. It can be your parents, it can be your friend, any family member, anyone. If you don't have anyone who can sponsor you with that much money, you can have a study loan for that. Now, how are you going to prove it? The question is, if you are sponsored by your parents or anyone, if it means not by yourself, then you will need a letter of sponsorship from that person saying that, okay, my name is this, I'm a resident of this, your relation with that person, and I'm willing to sponsor this person while he is in the United States and studying in this course from this university and this and that. That's it. He needs to provide you a bank statement for at least last 3 months and tax returns for last 3 years. That's it. If you can, if he's employed, get his salary slips, pay stubs, and employment letter. If you are doing it by yourself, then your bank statements and tax returns, bank statement for last 3 months and tax return for last 3 years. That's it. You need to provide minimum of these documents. If you have a loan documentation, then that will suffice the purpose. But you need to have some kind of proof. First, university won't want to issue you I-20. Second, even if you are able to secure I-20 from the university, embassy won't want to issue you the visa because they're going to check. They're going to ask you at the time of interview. The United States is one of the embassies like who literally interviews you before you go for the before they issue your visa. Not like Canada or other countries. They ask you to send the documentation. They will review the documents and they will let you go. Not with the US. They will review. They will interview you in person. So these are the main documentation you will need in order to enroll yourself in the university. Now, by the end of this slide, we will discuss my personal experience, how I enrolled myself using all that. Now, admission process is simple, but it's a little different. So, in order to evaluate your degree in foreign degree to US standards, so they use LSAT. So you need to create an account on LSAT, pay their fees. They normally charge around $130 to $150, and so create an account. They will ask you to ship them, courier it, your transcripts to them. They will evaluate. They will then circulate your LSAT score, means your degree evaluation documents, to each and every university which you gonna opt in the account itself. So once you do that, on the side you have to complete a university's applications. It means you're gonna complete 2 applications. One at LSAC, when you're gonna create an account, you're gonna create your profile. Second, you're gonna create an application at the university's website. You can do that also at LSAC if you want to apply through LSAC, but it's the same thing. You either complete the form on university website or you complete the form on LSAC website. Once you do that, they will evaluate. They will take LSAC will take at least 3 weeks to evaluate your degrees and diplomas, and then they will send it to the university. And then once university receives from LSAC, they're going to review it again, the documentation. So technically, it's a 2-month process on an average, but some universities are there very quick. But otherwise, like they normally take approximately 2 months in order to evaluate. When I started, now I'm going to share my personal experience how I reached that far. So when I started, I didn't took help from anyone, not any agent or any lawyer. So I was in 2012. I started this process. I planned for 2013. So I started, I believe, sometime in August for this one. So because my brother was here, so it was easy for me actually to choose a city. So I chose the University of Houston because he was in Houston. So I picked the University of Houston. I looked at their website, and then the only thing I initially did is like I sent an email to the for information. I was like, I'm interested in your program. Can you please give me more information? That much information I asked for initially. They sent me some information, their tuition fees and everything. Once after that, they sent me an university website link saying that go through this one, you will know most of the information. I checked that. I saw that there's a loophole for IELTS and TOEFL exam. I saw that what documentation they will need for approving the financials. There only I came to know about LSAC, that I need to send my degrees and diplomas for LSAC evaluation. So I followed the instructions. It's very simple, straightforward. I followed the instructions. So every university follows the same kind of pattern. So if you have shortlisted your universities, just check which was their website. You will know most of the information. Otherwise, their directors or the ISSO officer, they're very helpful. So send an email to them. They will give you most of the information, whatever you needed. So I created my account. I paid the fees. I sent my degrees. Now, when you send a degree to university from university, make sure you send it in a sealed envelope. University knows how to do that. And whenever you graduate from the university, always keep 3 to 4 degrees in a sealed envelope, certified copies of that in your with you. You may need that in future when you're gonna be in US, and then it will be little difficult for you to ask someone from India to that you needed one. Can you please courier it to US at a certain address, specific address? So it's always good to have that.
Okay. Mr. Pankaj, there is
Yes.
one thing I just want to ask. Actually, as we are dealing with immigration laws as well, there is a frequently asked questions among the students, among the student community, and specifically for the law students, that how can we find out the actual situation, that which university is genuine and which has got validation from
Yes.
ABA, American Bar Association.
So let me cover that part also. So when you shortlist your universities, make sure you check 2 things. There are like maybe thousands of universities in the United States, but not every university is ABA approved, means American Bar Association, and you can check that list on ABA website, and you can check that list on LSAC website as well. Make sure to check, and you only graduate from those universities. If you graduate from any funky university, you may not be able to sit for the bar exam on a later day. So this is one of the. It's good that Abhishek picked that question, but make sure you check this part.
ಇದು ಸುಮಾರು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್
I'll mute that person.
Yeah, sure. Okay, there is one more thing. It's a kind of an information for all the law students. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to Mr. Pankaj, just wanted to add one more thing to all the law students and other students as well. There is an escape window for those who are not very much equipped with the English proficiency test. Okay. It is important to understand that you don't have to waste a lot of money while giving in IELTS or TOEFL if your official language is English. That depends. That is actually subject to the university requirement. Some of the universities in US, they go for if you have the official language, official instruction language or medium of instruction is English in your college,
Yes.
just like Gujarat National Law University have, or all the other national law universities have, and other additional universities also have that. You can just waive off that requirement of TOEFL or
Yes.
IELTS, so you don't have to.
I'll explain. That happened with me also. So when I saw about the English test requirement, I was practicing in high court at that time. When you're practicing in high court, you literally don't have much time to spare time to spend on preparing for LSAC or those things. So when I was going through the instructions, I saw that like if you received your first degree of law where medium of instruction was in English, then this is not a requirement. I said okay, works for me. I checked my degree. On the degree it says that medium of instruction is English. I picked that point. I said like I sent an email to director. I was like, I don't have to meet this requirement because it's waived off by your university under this provision. They said okay, yeah, that works for us. But if you think you may be able to waive that option out, but if you think that you need some English skills, then better to get not the test, but just sharpen your English skills, because you are coming to a state where English is the language. So and their English is with accent. when you speak to a white American, you may be able to understand him. When you speak to a African American, then forget about it. I still remember it took me 3 weeks. Okay, it took me 3 weeks to understand African American. They don't use is/am/are at all. They just jump from word to word. So and their accent is very heavy. And when you are talking to any Nigerian, that's my personal experience, still face sometimes difficulties understanding them. So they speak very fast. So it's better to practice a little bit more. I know if you have time, if you can, not a bad idea to do that. That's my personal experience. I'm now, after spending 8 years in the US, I think now things are better, but still, it's not a bad idea. You're just sharpening your skills. Any questions, Abhishek, up to this part? So we'll move to next slide.
Question answer session will be taken up in the last after your presentation. Okay, I'll keep posting the frequently asked questions if it is related to the slide.
So now, let's say if university deadline to accept application is March 1st. So on an average, university will take any time between 6 to 12 weeks. Now it varies from university to university. Some universities are even quicker. They take like only 30 days to process your application. But you always keep a room for at least 45 days to 70 days. That okay, you can expect that a delay from university side, because it's not only the university who is involved in this. It's the Department of State is involved, because they need to approve the university for issuing the I-20, and the LSAC who will review your credentials. They will only review your credentials when you're gonna mail it from India. So if there is a delay of delivery in your mail, which you're gonna send your transcript from the university directly to the LSAC, that can delay any, like for a week or two easily. So you need to keep that thing in mind and prepare ahead of time. So approximately, I would say any time between 6 to 12 weeks is a good time. You should keep it. So if the deadline is March 1st, give 2 months for university to review and LSAC to approve it. So you're looking at March, April. So June, March, April, May, you will be good to receive the I-20 from the university in month of May. If you have by end of May, you have the I-20 and you have all the paperwork for the visa interview, you should schedule something for June, so that in June your visa will be done and you are ready to fly to US sometime in July. If you wanna delay, having extra time is good. If you are on edge, then it will be difficult for you to do that. So better to do that early. Now from university, when your admission is processed, you are accepted, university will send you 2 things. One is the acceptance letter. Second is your I-20 issued by the ISSO office. Mainly DSO signs it. So when you see the letter of acceptance, it's okay. But when you see the I-20, you need to look one thing, that whether it's a signed I-20 or not, whether it is an original signed I-20. If it is not signed by the DSO and it's not original, then you need to contact school saying that, hey, I've received the I-20, but it's not original. I need the original I-20. No sooner you receive it, and if it is original, you have to sign it as well. Don't leave it unsigned, because at the time of interview, visa interview, officer will check that. Service fees. Before you go for an interview, and once you receive the I-20, on I-20 there's a unique number. Okay, there's a unique number on the right side top. You can Google it. There are hundreds of samples there. So on I-20, there's a right side. There's a unique number, service number we call it. Starts with N. You need to pay that fee. You need to go to their website. It starts with FMJ, FEE. You need to go online, pay 901 online fees. It's around, it used to be around 200, but now it went up around 350, I believe. So you make sure you pay that fees before you go for the interview. That fees, let's say if your visa is denied, you will be able to use the same fees next year or any subsequent interviews. That fees is good for, I believe, 2 years. So once the payment is paid, but make sure if you enroll yourself in any other university, tell them that this was your last service number. So they use the service number same, so you don't have to pay a different fees on a different service number. So same number can be used again and again by the other university, but you need to notify them. Now, again, one more thing. When you apply, make sure you apply in a couple of the universities, not specifically in one university. There are 2 reasons for that. One, when you apply, you need to make sure that you are able to secure at least 3 to 4 admissions. You're going to use one, but for the visa purposes, you're going to need a couple of the I-20s or the acceptance letters. The reason is a visa officer will ask you that, okay, you have a I-20, how many universities do you have applied for? One. How come you are so sure that you will get admission in only one? It means you are taking a chance. They won't gonna see it otherwise that you are saving money. No, for you it's money, but for them it's a different kind of intention that, oh, okay, so he planned for this university. If it is Harvard University, agree, one university is fine. If it is just a state university, better go for a couple of universities. If you don't want to spend money, there are universities who waives the application fees. Normally, university charge $100 to $200 for the applications. But if you can look for a universities, there are several universities. When I applied in 4 universities, and out of which only one was charging. There was no application for other 3 universities. In order to secure a visa, you need to do that. I did the same, and it worked. Now, once you have all the documentation from the university, you see the I-20, you paid the service fees. Now, then you are preparing for your visa interview. So, visa application process is another. It's easy to get an admission in the United States. It's not that difficult. If you have all the documents and you start on time, you will be easily able to secure a visa, the admission. Visa is immigration. Yes, we are coming to one of the best country in the world. So if then visa application process will be little difficult, and staying in US is also a little difficult for initial years, but then it will be easy. So you need, in order to apply for a visa, you will need a couple of things. You need to get the I-20, service fees, and financial documents, and the visa application process you need to follow. Simple, very straightforward process. We'll cover that on next slide. Application process, very simple. DS, Department of State, DS 160 form you need to complete, and you need to pick an option. This form is used for several things. Securing a B1, B2 visitor visa, securing other non-immigrant visas. But we are going for F1, which is a non-immigrant visa. Non-immigrant visa is very simple, that you are planning to go there, you're going to stay for a while, and then you have an intention to return to your home country. But just keep one thing in mind. You don't show to the officer that, yeah, you're going there to settle down. If they have any hint of that, they will deny your application without even thinking twice. Right away, they will deny it. That, yeah, you are not coming back, not going to come back. So you need to complete the online form of DS 160. Once your form is completed, you will need some information from the I-20, your financial documents, because the DS form will ask, DS 160 form will ask you where you want to stay, the point of contact person in the United States. That will be your DSO who signed your I-20. Most of the information will be, you can see it from the I-20, and same can be used for completing the DS 160 form. Once you complete the DS 160 form, you can complete and submit that form. Once you submit that form, there will be a confirmation page generated. you need to keep that form safe, because you will not need that form when you go for the interview. They will check that page whether you have completed the DS-160 form. There will be a unique number on it, which they're gonna scan it when you will go for the biometrics and the interview. When you complete your application, make sure you keep a copy of the entire application you filled it out, just to review before you go for the interview and for future references. Because when you will be in US, if you're gonna change your visa to H1 or any green card process, the lawyer who's gonna work on this application, they're gonna ask for, okay, show us what you listed in your DS-160 application, because they want to check what experience or other information you have listed in that page. Now, make sure when you complete DS-160, do not lie anything, do not hide anything, and don't enter incomplete information. If you have worked anywhere, do list that. If you, in what capacity, if you are not sure, better to talk to any lawyer or an immigration specialist about that, how to complete that form. Incomplete information may not haunt you at that point, but in future, yes, because when you're gonna apply for your green card application, they're gonna check everything. They're gonna check everything, and then that will contradict that information. What you're gonna fill now will contradict in future. So better to give a correct and complete information rather than giving partial or incomplete or incorrect information. So once you complete that information, make sure you keep a copy of the entire application with you somewhere, that if in future you needed it, you can print it out. Once you are done with the DS-160 part, there's another website it's another website to schedule the interviews. So you need to create your account on that website. Once you have the account on that website, let me.
What is CGI Federal, if I'm not wrong?
Yes, CGI Federal. CGI Federal is the website for you to create your profile and schedule your appointment. You will create your account. You need to enter the DS-160 information in that profile, DS-160, that unique number, and then once you are done with that part, they will let you make the payment. You will be able to print out a page with which you can go to Axis Bank, is the main bank they use, so pay the appointment fees. It's normally $190 US dollars, so somewhere around, I think, $13,000 rupees Indian. So you need to pay that. Once you pay that, within 24 hours from the payment time, you will be able to schedule, you will be able to see the calendar. Now, you need to choose a city, which city you want to go for the fingerprints and the interview. So choose that and go for that. Now, US immigration, they will conduct biometrics on one day, and then the fingerprints, and then they will ask you for the interview on next day or whenever date you want to pick, but it should be after your fingerprints. Now, once you secure your visa, let's say you went for the interview, they're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Why this university, why this program, about financial, who's sponsoring you, all the financial documents. When you are in front of an officer, let's say he asks, who is sponsoring you? You should be like this, my father, with the documentation in front of them. Right away, give them the paper for your parent. You need to show them the confidence. Okay, here's the documents I have for this this part. So if they ask for something, just hand it over to them right away without any single minute delay. Don't give them even a single chance to think otherwise. Same thing happened to me. I went there. I never prepped actually for the interview. So I went there. They asked me for the documents. I was like shuffling through the papers, like, where's the document? Where's the document? First time they denied it. The reason for the denial was not the documentation. Actually, the reason was that because I chose University of Houston and my brother used to live in Houston. So they said, no, you're going to stay there. You're not going to come back. You are going to stay with your brother, and no chance of your return. So they denied it. I said, okay. So then I thought, okay, so the reason is because I'm choosing Houston, they're denying it. So I changed the university. And then once you are in US, then you can choose, you can transfer universities from time to time whenever you need it. So then you have a bunch of options when you are in, but you don't have options when you're outside. So I started in August of 2012, gathering documents, getting the degrees in the sealed envelopes from universities. I completed all the application, created the LSAC account. Sometime early 2013, I sent applications by that time. In May, I received the I-20. May, I scheduled my interview. So it was pretty fast for me. So I was here in July. My program started date. It was mid of August. So it was, I planned ahead of time because I knew that like I have to go there and settle down. So I planned accordingly. You have to plan what actually you are looking for, whether you want to go there or not. If you are serious about it, you need to be serious. Now there are a few challenges like pre-degree. There are a bunch of challenges. Finance is one of them. Finance is one of them, and sending documents from university is another challenge. And you saying something?
Yeah.
And so, and then during studies, you will there are a bunch of challenges. One is language is one of that. Then you have a cultural difference. Food is another thing. I was pure vegetarian, and then after getting degree is other challenges about immigration, job, and then unforeseen like COVID-19. The other challenges we're going to discuss in the next slides. So pre-degree challenges will have like how much money you have actually in order to spend. Like US universities are very expensive as far as law is concerned. They will cost somewhere around $40,000 to $70,000 US, including the living expenses. So which is like approximately, let's say 50,000 is like 35 lakhs in a year. So that's pretty expensive. Yes, they will let you work, but that will be like a part-time job, and that is on-campus job only. And even that is like if you are able to find one. They don't guarantee to every student, but if you are able to secure a job, let's say in library, university library, yes, you can do that, or with the professor as a TA. So you can do that, but it's like part-time jobs, like 20 hours a week only. You cannot work more than 20 hours, and only on campus you can work, not off campus. So that will cover your like day-to-day expenses, like living expenses, but not the tuition fees. Tuition fees is pretty heavy. So so you need to be it's tough. I know. Then you need to be sure that which university you are going to go for. Make sure the university you are choosing is not in not a fake university, which is not approved by the ABA or the LSAC. And then you need to make sure that your score, you are not below average student. At average is fine, but not a below average student, or your English is not literally bad, even though it is waived by the university requirements. But still, you need to make sure that you have a good English skills. And whether now, one thing is true, that if you are enrolled in a university, universities in US, they prefer international students. That is true. Two reasons. One, they know that you are bringing more money to the US. You're gonna pay double of what US nationals are paying, and they prefer foreigners also. Mainly, it's a country of immigrants. Most of the population, you hardly gonna see a person who says that, yeah, I'm 100% American, because either their parents or grandparents or great grandparents are from somewhere else. Very difficult to see a completely 100% American. They mix up. You will see like a complete. You may see an Indian guy born to this American. Why? Because one of the parents must be from India. So very common here. But these are the few challenges actually. You will face more. What if you don't apply on time? That will be a challenge because you will short of time, and then you're going to lose a year actually. And make sure you check the program start dates before you apply. You don't want to apply for something, let's say, starting in March, when your course in India is finishing it up in June. So that's, you have to be very careful. You need to be very careful when you apply for that. Now, with the visa application challenges, a rejection is one of that. What if there's any rejection on your visa application? Happened to me. It won't gonna hurt your next interview, but if there are like a couple of rejections on your F1 application, you may not be able to secure a visa that year. Don't appear for an interview. I appeared 3 times. I've received my a visa 3rd time, but don't appear more than 3 times. It's not a good idea. They will say if there's no changes in the application, there's no point of coming again for the same thing. We already reviewed your application twice. Only appear for the 3rd time if there's any changes in the visa application, because when I went for it, it's like any change in the application, then you only will review it. It says like, yeah, there's a change. Then only they reviewed it. Otherwise, they say, okay, denied again. So you need to take precaution that do not. I personally prefer that do not go for a same state where your relatives live. Let's say if your relatives are in California, don't pick a university which is in California. So go for other state. They will say that you are just uniting with your family. You're not going to come back. Now, getting immigration information is complicated. I personally prefer. When I did my application, I went by myself. I didn't go to anyone. Reason was that one was my brother was here, so who helped me a little bit. And then if you go to any agent, I am not personally in favor of those. So better not to go to them. So,
Mr. Pankaj, just want to confirm a few more things. Could you please throw some light on specifically on the precautions if you are going for if you are going after multiple reactions? What should you do and what should you not do?
Let's say you're going for after multiple rejection, but rejection, whether now the question is whether the rejection was on F1 visas or other visas applications. Okay, if the rejection is from other visa applications, let's say you applied for B1, B2s, means visitor visas several times, and now you're going for F1 application. Not a good idea, because they will say, oh, so your aim is to go to America, okay, not a study, because last week or 2 weeks back you applied for B1, B2, now you're applying for F1. Okay, so not a good idea. So if you know that you want to apply for F1 visa in 2021, do not apply for B1 or any other visa application Okay, not apply any visa applications for at least 6 months before that. Okay, do not apply. Reason, simple reason. You're saying that you're going for a trip, and now you're saying you're going for a student. If it is over 6 months, you can at least say that, yeah, I was planning to go so that I can explore the universities and the programs there. But if it is, then you will be able to give some excuse at the time of interview. But if you do it right before the F1 application, then excuses, you have to come up with a good excuse when you are there for the interview. Right?
Right. That means there should be a time gap, at least, and you should
be
very much careful about it. But
yes. But otherwise, like if it is F1 rejection first time, you are okay for second time. If it is second time rejection, F1 application, your third time okay if there is any changes in your application. If there's no changes, it's the same application, same university, no changes, then not a good idea to go again. You're going to waste your money again and time.
Great. So there are some frequently asked questions related to the challenges. Let me just quickly put it in front of you. The transit issues. What are the list of documents required for immigration clarification during a transit?
Okay, so for that you will need a couple of documents. Passport, you need to keep it with you all the time when you are traveling. Your passport means not expiring within 6 months from that date. Okay, passport needs to be valid for at least over 6 months. Okay, better to have it at least a couple of years, but otherwise over 6 months is the requirement. Then you need to have your I-20 in hand, the original I-20, and always keep a copy of passport, I-20s in your email. Just in case if you misplace it, you will have an extra copy in your emails as well. So then you will need your ticket with you. These are the three main documents, because your visa will have your that you will contain it like in your passport. So these are the three main documents that now they're going to check. I-20 and your passport is the main document, but make sure to do let your DSO know that this is the flying date, that this is the day you are coming to the United States and this is the time, this is your flight details, so they know that you're coming there. If there's any issue with your arrival because of your arrival, or they catch you, or they got you at the airport and they put you in secondary inspection, at least your DSO is aware of that part. So prepare your travel plans beforehand so that like someone can come and pick you, because it's 24 hours flight. So by the time you're gonna reach in US, you will be in a different world. If you're coming first time, you will be in a different world. Okay, you won't be able to understand how things are moving here like fast. So better ask someone to come and pick you from the airport. By the time you're going to reach here, you won't even realize what luggages you brought, the color of that luggages. So you need to be careful with that part.
It can be a jet lag.
Yeah, jet lag, and it's actually you will be packed in a box, right, for 24 hours. So by the time you're going to land here, so it will be difficult. But if it's your first experience, first time you're coming, if you've been flight for like other countries, then you might be okay. But otherwise, if you're coming and traveling first time, then it will be difficult for you to do that.
So there is one more question, which is very important for everybody. That for how many months prior to the deadline we should prepare for the application requirements? The deadline here means the university deadline for the submission of fall, winter, or summer.
At least I would say at least start 2 to 3 months ahead of that. If your university deadline is March 1st, it means you should have every single thing ready for the university. If university deadline is March 1st, you don't have to wait to create LSAC account and those things until March 1st. You can finish all those things in February or January. So there's no deadline for LSAC. LSAC you can start early. Only university will start accepting the applications from March 1st. So if you are sure that you're gonna come to US, then start early. So even if there's any rejection on your visa application, let's say if you schedule your interview with the US embassy in June 1st week, they rejected your application. At least you will have some time to reschedule it. If you're gonna do it in July, then you won't have time actually for that. So schedule your interview in beginning of June. If there is any rejection, at least you will have time to reschedule it for June end. If there is still any rejection, then you have time to schedule it for July. And if you're going to do it very last minute, then you won't be able to. Then you have to wait for another year to do that.
There is one more thing very important for the students. Do we have to maintain a bank balance, or is there any other way to meet the requirement of the expenses, university expenses, living expenses? Is it required at the time of visa application?
Yes, you need to make sure that you have enough balance in your account. Balance means on I-20 they will list down how much will be your cost, including living and tuition fees. So you need to make sure that you have minimum of that balance in your Indian accounts or in foreign accounts. For anyone can be your sponsor, so you need to make sure that you have that much balance in your account. Take the currency. If you are using Indian bank statement, take the currency conversion rate with you. Say that show that okay, if you have like 20, let's say 50 lakhs in your account, convert that into US dollar from Google, and then print it out and take it with you. So when officer asks for it, you will be able to give it to them. So you need to maintain that.
So this is going to affect your visa application as well.
Yes.
Okay. Whether a sponsorship by a US citizen to a foreigner for student immigration help in immigration process?
No, they are looking for a sponsor, not immigration status wise. So if it is a US citizen or it's an Indian citizen, doesn't matter to them. Okay. So they literally don't care who is sponsoring. They just are looking for money.
Okay. There's one more thing. This is related to your own personal experience as well. Did your work experience help in you getting the admission in LLM, or will it help the other students to get JD admission or LLM admission in US?
So not every university asks for an experience, but some universities. Not every university asks, but some ask. But it doesn't help you otherwise securing an admission or a visa. Okay. So if a university requires specific university requires an experience, then yes, you need to have that. Otherwise, there's no requirement.
Okay. Here JD means Juris Doc to all students. Here JD means Juris Doc, which is equivalent to bachelor's degree in India.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
There is a huge difference between education system in India and US. So usually yes. We face such kind of a difficulty. How did you cope up with that?
So in US we don't have a participation part. In India actually. In US they have. So if you are in US, they will let's say they are covering one chapter today. So they will ask you to everyone. So they will say like, okay, 10 students will prepare this chapter tomorrow. So the professor gonna ask you, okay, now you tell me today that what do you mean by this. Now student will explain in their own words. Okay, this is what they understood out of it. Once student is done, then professor gonna explain in detail. So its participation is too much there. So they have evening classes. Now they have we don't have classes every day here. Maybe 2 days a week or 3 days a week. So you can choose accordingly. We don't have like classes like India 5 days a week or 6 days a week. No, only 2 days or 3 days a week maximum. So you go there on time. Let's say if class is for 1 hour, you go that time, just finish your class, and then you can come back.
So I think we must appreciate that, and let's move towards the challenges during your stay in US.
Yeah, language is one big challenge. Language, there is another, other than language, I think language we already covered. Cultural difference, we touched that one little bit. Language explained that it will be difficult for you to understand if you are not fluent or you are not good in English. Cultural difference, culture is pretty much different. They're different culture. Another difference is if you're a vegetarian, you're gonna have some hard time because they don't know what is vegetarian is. So not every, but vegetarian. I remember they put meat the way we put tomatoes in our curries. So you need to be careful. That's a big challenge. When I was vegetarian, I'm vegetarian, so it was difficult for me to actually ask every time, okay, what vegetarian is. So in the end, you will get only salad. So nothing else, salad and juice. Now the good part of the US system is that once you're done with your studies, they will give you a work permit for 1 year. Okay, 1 year you can for this is OPT, they call it, optional practical training. So you can stay for one additional 1 year to your completion of your degree to practice here, to earn, to settle down. Now, within 1 year, you have to make sure one thing. This is we are covering during study. Sorry, so the OPT will cover in next slide. Sorry, this is during. So they will now when you are studying, they will give you they permit students to work on campus for part-time jobs to cover your living expenses. Living expenses, it's not expensive if you are paying in dollars. Means you're not using Indian rupees in order to pay. If you're earning here and paying, is very cheap. If you're bringing from India, then you have to multiply by 75 or divide by 75. So then if you are earning here, then you will be easily able to meet your living expenses, but may not be able to beat tuition fees, but other expenses easily. It's not a necessity to join a part-time job. If you don't want to do it, you don't do it. It's pretty much optional. It's just to cover your expenses. No, authority doesn't help you for a student to find a job. No. But if you ask them, they always have jobs for IT, in IT sector, in libraries, those areas. You can always go and ask. Even if you see mostly Indian IT students, you will see working in everywhere, because IT hub in US is literally filled by Indians. So I think over 70% of the population in IT sector is from India. So even if I call from here to tell people, someone Indian gonna pick it. So if I call Sony people from here, Indian national will help answer the call. So you call anyone from US, Indian in IT, anyone from India will answer that call. So basically you have an option to work on part-time, but now it depends whether you be able to secure a job or not. You can assist any professor if you would like. They pay good amount, but only you can work for 20 hours a week, not more than that. That's the limitation you have on.
So basically, we cannot expect any help or help from the authority or college.
No, you need to coordinate with the pre-student, the current students, and see like if they can help you to secure a job. Yes.
There's one more thing. Could you please throw light on the restrictions and limitation part of a part-time job? Or
you cannot. Restriction is very simple. You can work only on campus, not outside the campus. And the another restriction is 20 hours, not more than 20 hours you can work.
Okay.
And you can be not outside employers. There's only one exception to that rule. That is if If university permits that, then you can work outside the campus. But that is very rare case. When you show your financial inability to pay these tuition fees and those things, and your DSO is convinced with that part, and the university permits you, then only you can work outside. But I rarely seen that kind of thing happen. I never tried that one, doing that. So, but it's very, very difficult to get that.
Can you throw some light on the point of exploitation?
Exploitation. This is when you're done with your degree, then obviously, like, they know that you need the job. When you are in need of job, chances of employers exploiting you, like, on as far as wage rate is concerned, is higher. Then they will obviously will pay you less comparison to other native people. But they prefer Indian, our society, as far as employees are concerned. So if you are because if you are native, if you don't need a like their sponsorship or something like that, then you can ask for a higher rate. When they know that, oh, you really need a sponsor, means to sponsor your visa on a later day, they will pay you less, because they know that you need help from them. So obviously they're going to pay you less. But when you establish that they need you, then it's the other way. So they will do whatever is needed to be done.
That means you have to become an asset for their firm.
Yes, you need to be.
Okay.
I did that. They initially hired me with the low rate, and within 2 months they bumped it up. I proved myself. So same way you have to do it.
Okay. Could you please throw some light on the option of OPT?
Yes. So now, OPT is once you are done with your graduation. Okay, government will allow you to ask for OPT thing. OPT is optional practical training that gives you 1 year of work permit. During the work permit, you can work for any employer, but in the same field of your study. And when you are in the OPT, you can work on a work irrespective of hours. You can work 40 hours, 60 hours, 20 hours, whatever. There's no restriction. The only thing you have to make sure during the OPT is that you need to keep updating your DSO about your current situation, where you're working, and what's the place of employment, what's your job title, and the job description. So they need to know that, because they will update in the government system that this is what you're doing, and this is where you're working, and this is where you're living. So they need to know that. So you need to keep them informed all the time. If you're changing your job, you need to inform them right away. During OPT, you need to make sure another thing, that if your employer is willing to sponsor you for H1. H1 is a work visa which can be renewed for years and years. So there's one provision that you need to get your I-140 approved. That's a green card application within 6 years. So you can renew H1 though. But H1 will give you an option to go back, come back into in and out of US, and you can bring your spouse on that. So that's a good option. Everyone who stays in the United States, they always move there from OPT to H1. So that's the biggest. It's a lottery system. They do lottery every year, first week of April. This year they changed the pattern, but lottery is now March actually, and then you have to submit your application. After the lottery, you have to submit your application. It's a complicated process, but yeah, you need to go through that. So you need to make sure when you're on OPT, you need to make sure that your employer is ready to sponsor you for H1.
There is one more thing.
Yes.
A very frequently asked question, that when does OPT start? Is it right after graduation, or is there any option to start?
Now you have an option. When you ask for OPT, you have option to ask for a date also, from which date you want to secure your job. When I asked, in my personal case, when I asked for 2 months from the time I applied for. So I was able to secure a job even before my OPT got approved. So the law firm interviewed me. I was able to secure a job, and then but I have to postpone the start date because my OPT is not active yet. So I literally waited for a week actually for my OPT to kick in so that I can continue I can start my job.
So during this period, what was your immigration status?
You will be an F1 even through the OPT period. When you are in the school, when you are completing your course, you will be on F1 status. When your OPT starts, then you will be still on the F1, but you will be called as F1 OPT.
Okay.
So you don't have to change any immigration status while you are in the United States. Visa is good for 5 years, so you can come back and leave. But during OPT, it is like if it is 12 months OPT, it's not recommended to travel.
So could you please throw some light on the accommodation issues?
Now, if you are in, college hostels are good here. You will get a hostel, and means you will have your kitchen and everything to cook. But they're expensive. But what you can do is you can stay outside and with other students, you lease a place and you stay with other students, rent a apartment outside for like 2 rooms, and then you can stay 3-4 people. That will be cheaper for you. But don't do that like right after you move. You can start with the university, or if you know someone, then start with them, and then eventually change it to your rental one instead of staying in a university. It will be a little cheaper. You can save some money, and there's no. It's safe to stay in the university, but you can pick a place which is even safer than the university also outside. Can't see your video, Abhishek, so I'm moving to next slide. So if you want to stay in USA, what will be the challenges after getting the degree? EAD, OPT, I already explained. Once you have OPT, you need to make sure your employer is willing and ready to sponsor you for the H1 visa. And then once you have that one, then you need to make sure you sit for your bar exam. Let's say, as I mentioned earlier, you may have only classes for 2 to 3 days a week. Make sure you start studying for your bar exam during that time, because once you are done with your university, then you may not be able to spare some time for preparation. So better start ahead. Reason is then you will have only 1 year of OPT. Then in 1 year of OPT, you need to make sure you are maintaining a job. Employer gonna get thousands of work from you. So better you won't have time for that. Then you have to make sure you are prepared for the bar exam. Then you ask for holidays, a couple of holidays, and then sit for your bar exam. Now, once you cannot take multiple state bar exams in 1 day. Reason is bar exam is here like either 2 days or 3 days. So if you clear, the exam is on the same date. Every state conducts the exam on the same day. So if you're sitting here, let's say Texas, you're sitting on 27, 28, 29, this exam in California will also be on the same date. So you cannot be at 2 places on the same day. So you may not be able to clear multiple exams in the same time. But yeah, in future you can. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to find a job after you're done with the bar. If you have some experience from your home country, and then you have a master's from here, and then the bar exam from here, it's easy. It's not difficult. You will be able to, even if you don't have a bar exam, still you will be able to secure a job. It's not that difficult, but yes, you have to look for one. Difficult to sustain a legal profession or a job in a law office? No. If you are not working, if you're not hardworking, then yes, it's difficult, because they in law, legal profession is very responsible here. So they, if you are doing some mistake, then I don't think so you will be able to sustain. But otherwise, like if you are hardworking and you are not doing crazy mistakes, you will be able to survive. If you are planning to go back to India, still master degree is good. The reason is now Indian companies are dealing with US companies a lot now. If you have master degree, they in Indian multinational companies, they need someone who is well versed with the US laws. So if you are going and joining there, yes, it's good. You will be able to secure a job there too, and it will be a little difficult for two things. One is repayment of loan, because when you are paying from dollars to rupees, then it's easy, because your loan amount will be too much, looking at 30 to 40 lakhs, and then then if you are paying from dollars, then it's easy, because then you multiply by 70. If you are paying in dollars, then this rupees. Sorry, if you are paying from rupees, then you have to pay literally 40 lakhs. Yes, you have to pay with interest, but also one more thing, if you spend 2 years in US and then you're going back after 2 years, you will feel the difference when you're gonna land there. You can smell things now once you're back. Happened to me when I landed in Delhi after my degree. I start smelling every single thing. So you will feel the difference. You will see the real sky. Yes.
So it's like you are having you were adopted to a different culture altogether. Now,
yes,
again, when you are back to your own culture, you were unable to get yourself adapted to that new culture.
Yes.
Now it's new for you.
In the Indian culture. Different. I know how I breathe like for a couple of days. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay.
If you spend too much time here, if you're going after a while.
Basically, when you get the degree, there is a list of challenges when you come back to India. First of all, it is to secure job. As far as you are concerned, it is not that difficult, because companies are looking for those advocates who are well versed with the legal system of US, those multinational companies who are dealing with them, whose offices are there. Second, it is good to join a job because you have to pay the hefty amount of loan. Okay, you have to repay your loan, which was taken as a study loan to pay the tuition fees of your American university. Is that you're talking about the social and cultural differences. Now, this is again the same thing. When you went to US, you faced that cultural difference. Now, when you're coming back after getting adapted to that US culture, you are facing the difference in the Indian culture. So it is a kind of a challenge that you have to face. But although it is very small, but you can take it as a challenge and you can move ahead. Another important aspect is that there is a very good scope in academics, right? Academics and litigation.
Yes.
People join various right? And by your experience and by your what do you say about it?
I feel that if you are going if you're gonna practice there, yes, you have a different kind of experience in US because they are more of a practical side. So they let you speak to the professors gonna literally gonna help you in polishing your skills as far as your presentation part is concerned. So things will be different when you are in India and when you study from US after that. So but that everything will be better once you complete your master's from here. You will be a kind of an asset for a company wherever you will go. So you will have a master's from US, so you always can use it anywhere you want.
Person how they channelize their knowledge getting from the US as a master degree, whether it's go for a law firm as a legal practitioner or a college or a joint any institution as a professor or a lecturer. They have to channelize whatever they get there during their education, master degree. That's completely subjective for the person. Correct.
So then we will move to the current challenge we have right now, that is COVID-19 impact. So in USA right now, because of the current situation, what USA is doing with the students who are in US or who needs to apply, so they are opening the embassies right now. So slowly they have started. So they recently opened Canada one. They are opening other Asian embassies as well. I think India one they are opening in another 2 weeks. So with now, because they need students, so they need students who can come and bring money to the US, who can pay heavy amounts. So if you are in US and you are stuck here because of COVID situation, they will let you stay. You need to ask, you need to apply for extensions, but you can stay as long as you file it on time and they won't wanna give you any trouble. Yes, you need to go through some process, but it's not difficult. It's very easy, and now things will be normal very soon. Now in India, there are some restrictions that you cannot step outside the home. Like there's you cannot gather anywhere. But in US, it's okay. You can go outside. You can shop. Yes, there is a section on gatherings, but not otherwise. Handing over to Navneet now. Mr. Navneet.
Yes.
There's one more thing. Navneet, just want to add one more thing.
Yes.
Could you please tell me what will be the status of those persons who have already applied for the admission, got the approval, but and they are stuck due to the lockdown? What can they do?
Now university started reviewing the applications, even though they are working from home. They started reviewing, and once the now embassies are even opening. So once everything is resolved, so they can schedule their interviews, and then they can plan to come.
Okay. Is there any provision for online studies, or is it beneficial in terms of
F1? Otherwise, F1 doesn't allow you to study online. Okay, when you are in F1 status, you cannot do online studies. Okay, so you need to be in person. It needs to be in person study. So you need to take classes like in person. But due to COVID situation, now universities are following different patterns. If university is letting you do that, yes, you can do that. Otherwise, now they even shorten the strength of the class. So earlier it used to be 50 students. Now they're bringing it down to less.
Okay, there is one more thing. As far as OPD is concerned, after your degree, during this lockdown period, is OPD still open in the arena of in the time period of COVID-19?
Yes.
Practical
training. Yes.
Okay.
It's open, and if your DSO, as I mentioned earlier, if you have a difficulty finding a job during the OPD time, if your OPD is already started, you better contact your DSO and talk to him and let him know that these are the issues. If DSO permits you and he talks to the international advice ISS office, and they decide that yeah, they will extend it, then things will be possible. Otherwise, if once your OPD time is off, then you will be done. Otherwise, you can always stop your OPD and enroll yourself in another program, so that you can stay and your OPD doesn't exhaust at all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj. Let us take the concluding remarks from Mr. Navneet, and thereafter we'll take up the question answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now that we have heard the actual condition of United States education system, how we apply, how we manage ourselves, what are the challenges we face, Categorically, our speaker explain each category's brief, during and post getting our admission. During that time, whatever we have faced. But the thing is, in conclusion, I can say that information is key aspect for everyone. The moment you get the information, you will able to counter the challenge before facing the challenge. You will able to prepare yourself for that challenge. Let's example, like if you are aware that after landing there, what type of challenges you will face. As an individual personal life challenge, I can say that once I land there, I have to do whatever I like. At the same time, I have to done entire my work by my own. My family, my helper was not available there. So you have to be equipped with that information to act upon that information. So entire this topic, which is informing us about the actual situation of US and actual situation of US education, the key aspect is the information. We, the Praco Learn, work hard to provide that information to every student related to the legal aspect of US, legal aspect of India, whatever you have learned, either you want to return back to India, what benefit you have, what are the job scope, where you can apply. Same thing, if you want to stay in US, what type of hurdle you will face, what type of area you will go to apply for your further career perspective. So the entire sum up for the topic, I can say that we have to see the dream, we have to visualize our future, but for getting that goal, we have to act upon that particular goal, so that we will able to achieve in time memory. We have to channelize and divide our entire section in a phase manner, so that we will able to achieve our ultimate goal. Getting a degree is the aspect. For getting a degree, after what? After getting a degree, we have to work, whether it's in India or a US. So this is a basic aspect we need to cater, and we need to focus on that. First, how we will apply. Second, after get admission, we have to prepare for interviews for the visa. The moment we get approval for the embassy, we have to land it there. We have to get the admission in the college. We have to pay the fee. We have to work for our daily expenses. We have to work. We have to get the degree. After getting degree, we have to work on for a further visa, or we have to work for future career perspective. So it is important to work for now if we are in 5th year, or if we are willing to go abroad for a further study, go US for a further study. I think I am sum up entire session. Let's move to the question answer.
Okay.
There's a query from one of the participants, Mr. Sagar, that how many scores are required in IELTS?
Now this varies from university to university, but most of the universities go around 6.5.
Is it about IELTS academic, or is it general IELTS?
No, IELTS academic. General academics you need for immigration, but otherwise they ask for academic.
Okay, so it varies from 6 to 8 IELTS academic. I can assume that. Great. there are few other queries from participants who were not able to join this platform because of some technical issues. So I got it from their number. First query is that, okay, is it possible for us to get the I-20 form through email?
Now, because of the COVID situation, embassies may allow that part, but otherwise it's the other way. You need that one in original form. Need that in original form, then only that will work. So because you need to sign it, and interviewing officer will review it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need the hard copies.
The original hard copy.
Okay. See what the COVID situation gives. Okay.
Yes.
There is another query. When should we go to attend the orientation session? I mean, by this question, he means how many days prior to the orientation session one must go and visit the university?
You can fly 30 days before your reporting date, which is orientation date. So if your program start date listed on your I-20 is let's say August 5th, then you can fly to US 30 days prior to that, not more than that. So count accordingly. But now it's up to you. If you wanna go that early, let's say 30 days, it means you want to pay for a rent for those extra days there. If you will be in US, you wanna pay your food expenses, living expenses, and everything.
Okay.
It's always I came here 2 weeks early, so I can find a car for myself, because otherwise it would be difficult for you to commute to the university, get your driving license, open your bank account, because you're gonna settle here. When you're coming here, you're gonna settle here. You need to learn how to cook and everything. You need to ensure that you are full-fledged, that you're gonna settle down. You need to know how to cook. You need to know how to do daily work. Okay, a daily routine work. No one is here to fold your clothes, so you need to do it. You need to know how to wash your clothes. Yes, it's a US, so if you want to lease an apartment, they will provide you with the fridge and washing machine and everything. But you need to know how to do all that kind of thing.
It means you have to be self-dependent, as it is a challenge.
Yes, you need to be. You need to know everything. You need to know how to cook, because otherwise you will be in a big problem, because you will not be able to eat outside forever, because then your expenses will go higher. And so you need to know how to cook, and if needed, you can go out also. There's our vegetarian options as well, but you need to be ready.
Okay, there's one question. As we have discussed in the starting of the slide, in the starting of the session, that it is in US we have got highly paid jobs. So
Yes.
the question that what will be the salary which a lawyer get after the bar, or if a lawyer graduate does not clear the bar, what could be the salary?
Now this vary from state to state. California is a high paid state, so because it's expensive to live there compares to other states. But you will make enough if you year. You will be, and if you are a bar cleared, you're an attorney actually, and if you literally work here for over a year, I think so you will be able to pay your tuition debts easily. If you working as a non-lawyer, then you may not be able to fully pay your tuition fees, but you will cover pretty much a good amount of it. But yes, you need to work hard to get that.
So what could be an average salary?
Huh?
What could be the average salary?
I would say anywhere around, if you are working in a normal state, like if you're working in Texas, for your salary, starting salary should be somewhere around like 36,000 to around 36,000, I would say, as a non-lawyer. If you're working as a lawyer, then around 60,000.
per month.
No, not monthly. It's a yearly salary. 60,000 monthly salary, no one gets that. Because your living expenses here is not much. Your living expenses is very cheap. If you are living in a shared apartment, then you're looking at even $1,000 a month maximum.
There's one more query, Mr. Pankaj. How did you find a job?
So I found a job. I started job hunting as soon as I graduated on the like Monster and those things. And they interviewed me. The day they interviewed me, they said, okay, we are hiring you right away.
So
they hired me right away. So my interview was at 9. After 9 interview, I have another interview at 11. So they hired me right after the interview, which means like 9:30 they hired me, and I end up canceling the interview at 11.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't need to come anymore. So I'm good.
Why did you show your interest in immigration laws? Is it state specific or is it your personal interest?
It's federal law. That's the good part with the immigration, that you can practice anywhere. It's in federal law. So if you are practicing immigration in Texas, you can practice same law in California or anywhere in the United States. So it doesn't matter where you are practicing. So in fact, federal law.
I was saying that thank God we also have the same thing. At least it is the central law. Immigration.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there's one more query, one last query. Can I move to US a few weeks prior to the day of joining on F1 visa? Now they are talking about the immigration status.
Yes, you can. You can move up to 30 days prior to your program start date. No?
That will be on F1 visa, right? Or do
Yes.
you have to apply for something else?
No, you can move if you have a F1 approved by the US Embassy. Then you can come 30 days prior to your program start date. So not prior to that, but 30 days is allowed.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj, for these worthy answers.
Thank you so much.
Now I would like Mr. Abhinav Saxena to give us a thank you note.
And with this, I would like to give a vote of thanks, first of all, to my director, sir, Professor Dr. S. Shanta Kumar, sir, Director GNLU. Then I would like to thank Dr. Jagdish Chandra, he is Registrar GNLU, Gujarat National Law University. Then I would like to thank Dr. Saurabh Anand, HOD, Department of Alumni Relations and Assistant Professor of Sociology. And last but not the least, Dr. Nidhi Hilde, Assistant Professor of Law. She's when I was a student at that time, these professors have taught me these law subjects. So thank you, sir, and thank you very much for giving us this platform. And a big thanks to our speaker, Mr. Pankaj Goel, as he has given his valuable time as it's early morning in US, and he has given important insight over the immigration issues and legal studies in USA from his professional schedule. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj, for giving us this valuable time for us. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much, all of you, and just keep in touch with our Praco Learn website and Praco Learn YouTube channel, and we will update you on the details on that. Thanks.
Thank you.